Thank you and welcome to video 6 of Making Music with Code using Strudel. This video is entitled Gains and Sliders. Last week we played around with some voices. We did a female voice, that one there, female voice. We did a male voice which seems to have been hidden by Strudel, and we introduced a clap sound as well. And together they didn't sound that bad. Yeah, the male sound is back now and it sounds like this. It's not very punchy. It could do with some refinement, but it's fine for what we're dealing with here. You can reintroduce the bass, and that sounds quite nice. Let's see if this works straight out of the tin. Yeah. So you've got the bass playing, clap sound, female voice, male voice. And that sounds great. The problem becomes when you introduce the drum beat. The drum beat we did a couple of weeks ago. Reminder, control enter to play, control full stop, stop. Now when we bring it all together, play our whole stack. You simply cannot hear the clap or the voices that we created. They're just drowned out by the drum beat. So how do we address that? Well, some terminology to learn first. If you're an end user, you have a volume control. When you're talking about output devices, it's called amplification. Guitarists have amplifiers. It's an output device. An input device, like a microphone, it is referred to as gain. Can you increase the microphone gain? So, as in turn up the volume, as in increase the amplification, as in you can increase the gain to increase the volume of the device. And you can also turn down the gain to reduce the volume of a device. Code for that is pretty straightforward. It's dot gain with a value. A value of 1 is the same volume level, the same gain as you already got, so there's no adjustment to it. 0.5 is half the volume, half the gain. So it quietens it, it makes it quieter. 2 doubles the volume. 2 is twice 1, it doubles the volume. The gain is doubled, and you can put any sort of value in there. You can even go up to 11. So going back to our music stack, we can introduce gain into the bass and say triple the volume. Let's hear it without the gain first. It's just above the sound of the other two pieces. With the gain, it's a lot more grungy. It's right at the top there. Turning down the bass gain back to 1, because it was okay at 1. We can introduce it to the clap sound. So we can put a gain of 3 into the clap sound, and that should bring the volume of the clap up. Which indeed it does. In fact, I would drop that down a little bit. Try that at 0.8. Okay, so that's where we are. Bringing in the rest of our stack, it doesn't help us too much. These drums, especially this 8-beat here, still dominate everything. So let's address that. Okay, let's address this 8-beat here, which is too intense. We can do a gain of, say, 0.5, watch what happens. It reduces the volume, but it also reduces the intensity of the graphic display. So you've got a visualization of what you're doing. And let's drop that down to 0.25. It's a lot less intense. Now, the trouble with this is that you've got to go along, do some calculations, 0.25, 0.2, 0.2, do I want it 1.5 or do I want it 0.75? And it can get a bit mentally all over the place. You'll make it an adjustment and not realize what you've done. And it's a bit of a nuisance typing in these discrete values all the time. Wouldn't it be a lot easier if you could just have a slide control? Well, guess what? Most numerical values can be replaced with a slider. So the keyword is slider, and there are a bunch of numbers in between two brackets, which doesn't initially appear to be easier than just writing in a discrete value into the game, but bear with me. So this first bit, 0.5, is the start value. So the start value is at half volume. You can change that to 1 if you like. So the start value is no change to the current setup. The next figure, 0.1, in this case, is the lowest value. So you can't switch it off completely. You can only go down to 0.1. The next value is how high you go. You can go 3. You can even go 11 if you're that brave. And 0.1 is the number of steps. It's the resolution of the slider. So if that was 1, you would have big steps. So in fact, what that would be, you could only have 1, 2, or 3. The steps are a whole number. So you could only have 1, 2, or 3 as the discrete values. If you have that as 0.1, then you have 30 discrete values in the slider. Okay, so the start value ranges from 0.1 to 3 in steps of 0.1. So let's introduce that into our code. So with our hi-hat, where we had a numerical value for the gain, we can replace that with a slider value. So slider starts from 1, goes from 0.1 to 3 in steps of 0.1. That should work. That makes it more intense. That reduces the intensity, and you can see that in the visualization. So you can see the visualization represents the value put in there. Put one in here as well in the bass drum. You can mix it down. This still has a gain of 1.2. The clap has a gain of 2. The voices. So putting sliders in all our human controls so we can mix as we see fit. And we will hopefully begin to hear them within our mix. There. Right. Let's bring that down even more. There we go. So there we have it. You can put sliders in wherever you've got numerical values. Right, that was getting on my nerves. That had that in twice, and even put reverb in before. Let's see if I can show you something else. So let us make a fool of ourselves here. So we will comment out this stuff and just leave our bass. We just want our bass in play. Okay, and that one and that one. So this should just be our bass. Just put our bass and turn the gain back up on it. So I haven't put a slider in here. No particular reason, just laziness. Okay, so we can do reverb, say reverb 3, and you should hear the note drag on, reverberate round. Of course, when I said reverb, I did mean sustain. So we can put the sustain value in, which alters the bass note massively, and you can replace that value with a slider as well. Slider, there's one there, slider there. 0.1. And there we have it. Hours of fun. So a lot of numerical values can be replaced by a slider, which gives you mixing control on it. So you can adjust the volume of individual instruments and make them hearable in your mix. You can reduce or increase their intensity within your mix. Next lesson, we're going to do a bit more on notes, introducing chords and the like. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I will see you next video.